ask you who you think Real Madrid will get as the new coach, because as you were suggesting, they don't know because they've been taken by surprise. You take a look at the list, though. Look at the odds. You've got names like Arsene Wenger, Pochettino, Guti as well. If you were Florentino Perez, who would you hire as the next coach?
Well, I mean, obviously, I know this is stating the obvious, but let me state it. I'm not Florentino Perez in terms of the... And by that I mean, it's not just that I am not him. In terms of what I would look for in a manager, the kind of things that, whether I admit it publicly or not,
I tried a simple question, boys. It's a simple question.
A different to what he wants. He wants a manager that's malleable. He wants a manager that will fulfil his kind of ideal for the club. I think what Real Madrid want at the moment is a manager who they believe is professional, who is... shall we say, imposes a little bit more on the players. But this is what Madrid do. They swing from one extreme to the other. I actually think they need someone who gives the players a certain degree of latitude, who is prepared to allow some freedom to them, but who is also prepared to see through this process of new players arriving. They want Pochettino. Whether or not they'll get him is another issue.
You almost gave us a name then.
Almost. They won, but I don't know if they're going to get it.
Here we go. So I understand you want someone to make this transition, someone who's good at handling big names. Is Arsene Wenger not a name that should be seriously considered?
I think he has been, and is.
It seems to make sense.
Well, I don't know if he's the right choice for Real Madrid now. People would scoff at that, but
I don't understand why they would scoff at it.
Well, I think it's because things became so stale at Arsenal at the end that it kind of tainted, to a certain extent, all the good things that he did. And he did some great things at Arsenal, particularly over the first 10 years. And I was consistent in saying this over the piece. I never felt Wenger was finished as a manager, but I felt it was time for Arsenal and him to move on somewhere new. Now, not thinking a job like this would come up, but if it's not about signing players, and I think that's where he's struggled recently, bringing players in and not the right players, if it's about working with what he's got there, and that seems to be the case, then he's as qualified, if not more qualified, than Mauricio Pochettino.
Who would you have, Ali, on the list?
Man, can I just say, this is an impossible job. You're coming into a situation where Zidane has done everything that nobody else had ever been able to do. And so in you come with the same expectations, that you're supposed to deliver these titles, and it's an expectation that lives on with Real Madrid. I'm just not sure that I'm ready to put away my Wenger out sign and put the Wenger in sign. Man, that doesn't seem to make a whole lot of sense. And I wouldn't have Pochettino either. I would go with Guti, to be honest.
Oh.
You like some Guti, don't you?
Oh, no, that would be chaos.
Oh, well, chaos for the
guess
Guti was a regular in the nightclubs with me and Sid used to go back in the day. He can't be.
He's
not be a manager, Sid.
Sid just said that you needed a manager with latitude. Well, there you go.
Right. Everyone changes, right?
Are you talking about yourself as well?
No, I'm just saying other people. Everyone changes. I'm talking about going to nightclubs, and everyone changes, and most people mature. maybe he's mature. Listen, I don't quite get this Pochettino love in either.
No.
I mean, I like him as a manager, but correct me if I'm wrong, success isn't finishing in the top four. Well, it might be for some in England, but I don't consider that success. So Real Madrid normally go after people who have got a proven track record. Okay, Zidane was an internal appointment, but normally the managers go there with Champions Leagues in the bag, with domestic titles and cups in the bag. He clearly ain't done that at Spurs.
I would also say that Guti would be just a caretaker. It would be for the time being.
Right.
Until another name pops up that maybe Real Madrid fans can get excited about. But until then, from that list, I just don't see anybody that really gets you going, to be honest with you.
Difficult one because they're a good club. They've been successful. He obviously has a good relationship with the coach. They've got a good team bond there, which is something that's taken them through. I got them quite a long way, as well as the quality in their organisation. But I just feel, I thought last year was the time, another year down the line, I just feel it is the time for him to go. If he wants to make this one last big move in his career, I think the time is now. Listen, whether it's Spain, England, Germany, most clubs would take this player.
Sure.
Absolutely most clubs would take this player. So if I was him, I think it's time for a fresh start. But maybe he doesn't. Maybe it's not all about that. Maybe he's happy at Atletico Madrid. So I really don't know.
But if he was all about that, then you think, okay, well, then make your decision.
Yeah.
What is there to think about? If it is about Atletico Madrid and the shield and the thing and the pride, I'm going to be the main player here, I'm going to be the main guy, then come out and say it. You're going to be an Atletico Madrid player, and we're not having this conversation. But the longer this goes to the sort of in-between state in which he doesn't really say much, and yet kind of information just filters out, and you're supposed to put 2 and 2 together, then the more speculation comes about. What I would say about Antoine Griezmann is that if I were him, I would be very careful in that I'm jumping ahead of the curve. That Atletico Madrid at some point is going to top out. At some point, this magic may run out. Do you jump ahead of that curve and you say, you know what, guys, it's been great. I've done as much as I could possibly do in this club, and it's now time to do something else, somewhere else, in front of different fans, with different players, and with different expectations. If Barcelona is knocking, then now is the time to go.
If he does love the club as much as he says, and I'm sure he does, then, as Ali pointed out, a quick decision would be better for everybody. Of
course.
It would be better for him to clear his mind, going to the World Cup. You never know what happens at the World Cup with injuries and whatnot. And it's better for Simeone and Atletico Madrid because they're, okay, right, we don't want to lose him, but we think that's going to be the case, so we can divert our mindset and our strategy to go and try and find an adequate replacement.
It would also be better for him when he comes back to Atletico Madrid. Because now, I'm going to guess that the fans of Atletico Madrid are also saying, well, is he coming, is he staying? Sure. Are you really love us or not? Are you going to be part of this or not? This coming and going cannot sit well with anybody.
Most world managers would love to be Jurgen Löw and have his problems. He's just cut down his squad to 23 men, and the young player of the year from England, Leroy Sané, is not in it. How on earth is he leaving out Leroy Sané?
Well, if you listen to his excuses, which, you know, look, he's the manager, he's close to the squad, he's close to the players, he obviously knows what he's talking about, but I think it's a bit of a jaw dropper. I think a player that's had a fabulous year in the Premier League, I think he got 10 goals this season for Man City. For me, he's a difference maker. I think he's one of the top 5 young players in the world. He's absolutely sensational. He's control, his pace, he can break the lines, he can do so many things. So the only thing that we can surmise is that Jurgen Löw thinks that he's got a strong enough squad to, you know, take them quite a long way in the tournament. But bit of a jaw drop for me, Ross.
He says he's a player who can win a game, he's a game changer, but he also...
So why don't you take him?
Right, but he also believes clearly in the power of Müller, Royce, Draxler, and Julian Brandt of Bayer Leverkusen.
Yeah. I think he's further in. I think he's in front of Brandt. Personally, I do. I just think that it's something that is quite unique off the bench. Look, the manager said that he doesn't think he's quite hit the straps yet as far as international football is concerned. All right, 12 games, no goals. Brandt's had 15 games, 1 goal. It is a close one, and the manager said it's a close one, but I just feel that with his experience with Man City this year, I just think that he's maturing. I think he's ready for this. I think he should have gone.
If it's a case of balance in Jurgen Löw's eyes, do you see that as being a really a key part of what Germany are all about? It's not about the individual stats. You know, the stats are actually superior to Julian Brandt, but for him, it just fits right. It feels different.
That may be the thing, the balance and the fit. As we said, look, he's close to the squad. They didn't have a particularly good game against Austria a few days ago. Manager wasn't happy with that. And when you get to a massive tournament like the World Cup, it is about harmony, it is about balance, it is about what he feels he can go to off his bench, what he feels as he's got as his starting 11. My personal opinion is that Leroy Sané is ready for this stage, but he ain't going to go.
Okay, well, it's a big decision for Germany. They are blessed with an enormous amount of depth, as has been widely reported. Lots of people's favourites to win the trophy. They open up against Mexico on the 17th in Moscow. Before that, they'll have one more friendly opportunity against Saudi Arabia, but Germany looking good to defend their trophy, even without Leroy Sané, perhaps. Welcome into the Transfer Rater. We've got 5 good ones for you today as we build up for the World Cup. Paul Mariner alongside me, Ross Dyer. First of all, your old club, they're in the market. Finally, they're in the market for a free transfer. Fellaini.
Well, it's a bit of a mixed bag today. Let's put it that way. Fellaini to Arsenal. How does that make me feel? Not great. I don't get excited about it. Look, Mourinho seems to be changing his midfield around. He's always been a plan B type of a guy for Mourinho. Would he fit in at the Arsenal? I'm not too sure, Ross. I'm really not. He's on a free transfer.
He's 30 years old.
He's 30 years old, but to me, I'll never look at him as a 30-year-old player. I'm going to say this in a minute. I've got my Arsenal head on. I'm going to say this.
All right. Another one, Arsenal on a free. This one with a bit more pedigree, perhaps.
Well, yeah, incredible. Look,